McEwen's Exhibition. Remember Pint of X?
I think I've tried that.
Oh, that was a joy, that.
Have you pressed record?
Carlsberg Special
I
Brew.
don't know if you can still get that.
What?
Exhibition. I bet you can get it in the club.
In the club?
Not in the club, the club.
Club.
An Irish club.
The club.
He's pressed record, you know, before he started.
started.
Sorry, I didn't.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, evening.
Welcome back to YouTube.
We're back.
If you're watching on YouTube,
Yeah.
we're no longer in Deka's kitchen.
If you're not, we're still coming in your ears.
Lovely. He's a
We
little
could have
bit...
done it in mine, in the dining room.
No,
We could have done it.
because your last brings popcorn in and Mark ruins the podcast by eating popcorn
Oh,
for 20
I
minutes.
wasn't the only one eating it.
Hang on.
I had one handful.
You had the majority of the popcorn.
I was still disappointed you didn't make a
hungry.
double cheeseburger for us. I beat her up for that when I got in. Whoa, Phil Neville, sorry.
He's started already. Well, we're a minute in and Deka's dropped the
That's
clanger
what it is, you shouldn't have
already.
let her out of the kitchen.
Aye.
But we needed to kick her out so we could be in there.
Shit in hell.
She couldn't be doing the hoovering because it would have interfered with the sound.
She could have made a double
Put it in the
cheeseburger.
ironing. That's what she could have done, the ironing.
But then you would have had the
Yeah.
psst noise.
Not unless she was doing it like right next to it.
Is this just all a ploy so we don't have to talk about all the new signings?
I know.
We've got one of them with we.
Mr.
Big
Kennedy.
news.
So, shall we...
Have we actually signed anyone?
Well, kind of.
Well, I haven't really, have we?
You see her for a little bit.
He's a dream come true. He watched goal on that.
He's on holder.
Yeah, man.
He's got a little holder
You
on
watched
Tyneside.
Goal?
That's what he
You
said.
did watch goal? You not
That's what
seen
he
the guy?
said. That's what he said.
He
What
said
he said in his interview.
something about the history of Newcastle and the ex-players and that, and he went, and I've watched goal.
I mean, he looked, to give him a bit of credit, he looked really, really happy. And, you know what I mean? I suppose it's one of them that they always say a dream come
It's the
true.
A. He's out in London now, so the A
It's
is a lot clearer up here.
oxygen. He's sent him to Lally.
Probably seen the lashes on the case side and thought, "Pff, all mine. See my tattoos, love. You're mine.
It didn't fucking work for me.
You didn't go out.
These are worse than yours.
That's
Oh,
right.
have you seen
tattoos.
Mickey Mouse one? So he's got Mickey Mouse
On
like
his-
the fingers
on
are
his
like
hand,
over
isn't it?
his eyes like that. It's like on his hand here.
Lovely.
It's
Why
got
do
some
footballers have such shit tattoos? You'd think all of the money that they've got, they
It's
could
got-
find themselves a decent tattoo.
Straight
got
It's
Bruce
boredom.
Forsyth. It's got Bruce Forsyth on his calf.
I've seen that, aye. It's not Bruce Forsyth.
Like Jamal Lascelles, at least he's got his picture of Shola on
Shola.
his arm. That's alright.
that is
That's the
amazing,
best
that,
thing.
like.
He's some man, isn't he?
That's the best tattoo ever.
Did you see Shola on was it Football Focus or Match of
The
the Day? or
pigeons were
something?
coming out of his
Oh,
mouth.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, it was funny one. It was.
I'm pleased
I
with
still love Shola.
anything Shola related. I'm happy with.
The only downside was John Stead was standing next to him.
I'm just chatting to someone, sorry.
I was going to say, I was stopping you from doing something again.
No, maybe it's
Do
me.
you know? Do you want to?
Sorry, just do it in,
Shall we
just
pause
do it
this?
in your own time, mate.
Yeah.
Apologise.
Get on the
Come on,
clock now.
concentrate.
I was actually seeing if I signed anyone really on Twitter.
That was
I'll
the
save you the-
campus
I'll
transfer
save you
news
the
I've ever
check.
seen. So shall we talk about the Chelsea game?
When was
Oh,
that? Sunday.
Jesus, aye.
Sunday, the FA Cup, aye. We're nearly progressed to the next round.
Man, you know what it is? I didn't think we played that badly, particularly first half.
Aye, I'll give you that one.
Right,
I'm
let
glad you
us
said that.
finish.
Right.
Just
Are you finished?
I don't think we played too badly,
Finished, I'm finished.
particularly first half. Next.
Oh, man.
Oh my heavens above! The first half, right? Them were beatable. Them on that day, them were beatable. I don't think they would have beat many teams, you know, on that day, and they were really beatable. And we had a few chances, but we'll look certainly in the first 10-15 minutes. We're moving the ball around quite well. I think we looked all right. We did look all right.
Shelby had bothered to turn up for once.
Well, in fairness, I think
I thought that was one of Shelby's better games.
because he was allowed. I think his job was to push forward,
Yeah.
not be this quarterback that we see from a lot.
Yeah.
He had Savea trying to do that role, and I don't know what Hayden was doing, but he was doing something.
He was
and
playing
then
in defence, wasn't he?
and then obviously you had three at the back. I love 3-5-2, as I've said before, wing backs, but I don't think maybe we've got the quality of player to play that formation. But I still like the
Not with the two full backs that we had playing because they were bloody awful.
Oh, the go-kart manager.
Why do you think
Manquillo and Hairdryer.
Why do you think Manquillo has been playing so often recently? He's been in a few times. And the Edlin's been dropped, hasn't he?
Because he's Spanish.
Nah, it's that.
I didn't get
It's
that.
that.
I'm only fucking
Like I
joking.
was saying,
No, I know. I did I say I don't get it?
he tends to pick personnel based on who we're playing,
Nationality.
and how and how he's approaching the game. Don't you, like when we play?
I don't care. I didn't care how you're approaching the game. Yedlin's better than Manquillo. I don't care who you're playing against. Honestly, he is better than Manquillo.
Yeah.
But then again, he may be resting him, but I think he dropped him.
He's done it. He's done it a few times. It tends to be at home. You play Yedlin because he gives them the freedom to get forward a bit more.
Yeah.
Whereas away from home, I mean, not that Manculo's a particularly great defender, but I think he
Bit more
wants him a
defender.
bit more to stay there a bit more.
I mean, well, if you're playing 3-5-2, I mean, a lot of people probably think there's 5 at the back, really, but you're still playing with them wing backs where Hedora and Manquillo were going forward. I think that's Yedlin's dream position.
Yep.
Being an offensive fullback like that,
Agree.
it's his
Totally
dream
agree.
position, but I don't know. Obviously, didn't fancy him in that game. But,
Hedora, Jesus Christ.
well, in
At
fairness,
times he looked all right, but then at other times he was shocking.
Going forward, but then
the pretty stuff, the easy stuff, I think, going forward with the ball, carrying the ball,
Yeah.
it's not the hardest thing in the world to do, but it's the dog end stuff when you have to try and defend. That was when it let him down.
we've seen that, time and time again for him. He likes getting forward. He's very good at getting forward, but I mean that second goal, Jesus Christ, the way he just strolled back.
Yeah, it was.
He
Well,
made
I think
zero effort. to
everyone spotted that,
try and get
and
back. He was just jogging behind him.
even the local journalists were
It was
slating him.
pathetic, absolutely pathetic.
You know what's funny as well? It was he got that much grief. Everyone forgot Xavier lost the ball. Like Xavier was the one who got caught in possession stupidly, and I actually thought Xavier played quite well.
But it's alright when he loses the ball, because next time he scores a goal from a free kick.
Like to be fair to him though, right? The only problem I've got is he's too luxury for us. He doesn't tackle that much, but he always tries to. I thought some of his
To move
touches
the ball
and passes
forward.
were absolutely great. Honestly, I did.
I like
He did
him.
well, didn't he?
You
He
know,
did.
The last
and I know he
games
lost
came
the
in.
ball there, but Hedora has to do better. He has to do better.
Absolutely. You cannot just jog behind the player in possession of the ball when you know for a fact he's got the pace to get past him and get a tackle in.
Yeah, absolutely. Aye. He left Lascelles, bless him, because Lascelles had to go and close down the man.
Well, that was
and
it.
He just,
Well, he was having to back off, wasn't
Lascelles must have thought, what? You know what I mean? And then the second goal was just sums us up to how unlucky that is. Like,
Aye,
if we had done that
up
and
and
it had
over.
been Louise or whoever the defenders were, that would have never went in.
Louise.
Was
What was she
David
doing?
Louise, isn't it? David Louise, isn't it?
Louise.
Well, he didn't play, but I couldn't think off the top of my head.
Luis.
But say Rudiger, £50 million worth. If we had a shot like that, that would have never went in. But it happens against us, doesn't it? Loops in the
Sounds
top corner. It's just like, what the so unlucky.
I mean, their keeper, he looked shaky as out. He's been like that the last few games that I've seen him play. But then he pulls out some
pulled off a couple
some
of
great
decent saves, though,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
Especially
To give him
towards the
credit.
end of the first half. What's the score? 2-1 Swansea.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Every time we record a fucking podcast, Swansea win.
All you not notice all these bottom teams are getting that, like, what did he say? It was just,
Bounce
dead
back
cat ability.
Was it
What's
dead
it called?
cat- dead
Bounce
cat
back
bounce?
ability. No, dead cat bounce.
Dead cat bounce. Because everyone apart
You
from us
love
is
that saying, don't you?
No, I don't. I just remember he said it and it made sense because all the bottom teams, apart from ourselves, have sacked the manager and they're all getting that little bit of
Or
kick, haven't they?
they've brought a couple of players in.
That's what you need a change,
I'm
a bit of
Swansea.
a lift. And
I don't know. They probably brought more than us.
And I'm not
It's in
defending
the
us
summer.
here. I'm not trying to defend. I'm just mentioning because someone will go, he's trying to defend Ashley. I'm not. I just meant to have Swansea brought anyone in. I didn't know. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't know.
How good they've got a new defending shell.
Because I'm
Actually,
trying to
for
say, well, Swansea winning there. I haven't brought anybody in. The people twist these things about like Murphy,
Well,
for
they've sacked
example.
the
Last
manager
week,
and brought a new
Murphy,
manager in,
apparently, I
haven't they?
just criticised his kids and that. Even though I said his goal was brilliant, he is improving. His set up for Perez was amazing, but I still criticise his
Couldn't get
kids.
any worse, though, could
Did
he?
you listen to last week's podcast?
I did actually.
Are you
don't
sure?
think- I don't think
it
he
is.
No, I did. It doesn't matter.
He's getting quite irate with us, wasn't he?
Selective memory.
Let's not
No.
talk about him this week, right? Just
Well,
calm
he
down.
didn't play, did he?
Well, he came on. He came on as a
Oh,
sub.
did he come on?
Aye.
I apologise.
Oh, look, he's slating him already. Doesn't he realise he's on the
yeah,
I
pitch?
apologise. I didn't.
Wiping
I
it from
didn't
his
know.
memory.
I didn't say him. Sorry.
Poor lad.
Sorry.
Poor lad.
Going
Right.
back to Chelsea though.
What do you think about Gale up front?
He's the worst of all time.
He was awful, wasn't he?
I'm gonna go.
What was
Yes!
going on with him?
What did I say from day one? When we won the Premier League.
Do you know the lads? It was funny on the lad. I mean, me and
It's like he's lost any hunger and
Like what I said,
ability,
like
and-
I've said this before on Space Jam, where the aliens take all the powers from the players. This is what's happening to Dwight Gale.
it's just
Like
ridiculous.
there'll be some alien on Mars, be absolutely unbelievable.
I said some alien.
The championship in Mars, I mean.
I said the lads are texting and were going, like Sturridge, what do you think? Blah blah blah. And someone that says, well, you know, he might have attitude problems. He might be injured a bit. I'm telling you, if he had only had one eye, right, had the possibility of having AIDS, lost one of his legs, and the only leg he had remaining was his right leg, he'd still be
I
better
thought
than
you were going
Gale.
to see his cock there.
would still be better than Gale. That's honestly
I'm
how I
not having
felt.
that, like.
Oh, 100%. Him hopping around on his left foot would I think would be better. I reckon he'd stay on his feet more with only one leg.
He would try to get a penalty again
It's
against
all he ever
Chelsea, didn't
does.
he?
It's all he ever does.
Aye.
Any
I
type
just-
of
Do you think it's
contact.
because he knows he's not good enough to get the goals, so
I don't
he
know what's
thinks if I go down and get a penalty, I've got more chance of
He did it in
scoring?
the Championship a lot though, where he just any slight contact or even the thought of a defender going towards him, he'll go down. He does it all the time.
Yeah.
And you just think, just stay up the feet and carry moving the ball. We're not good enough to get us. Even if he wins a free kick, we're not good enough to put it in the box anyway. We'll hit the first man.
Who was
What's
it
the point?
in that move that we had? And it was it Richie
Oh.
Gale? Richie, is that the way it went?
So that was when
And it just went tits up.
their defender had the ball, no pressure, and he tried to pass it, but it actually
And Richie picked it up.
it went straight to Richie. He gave it to Gale, and Gale tried like a flick to go back to Richie, and obviously Richie couldn't get there.
I think that was piss rough on the pair of them as well, because Richie's first ball was poor to Gale.
It
Then
wasn't-
Gale tried some little
Aye,
flick.
It wasn't in front of him. Like
Then Richie kicked off as the Chelsea players were running down the pitch. I'm like, how am man?
What-
And there was another point where this was later. I'm jumping ahead. It was later in the game. We're closing the ball. The ball came from like our half to their defenders, and Shelby grafted his arse off to get it to that side of the pitch. Right,
We hear that.
tracked it. Honestly, mate, he
Don't
tracked the
remember
ball
seeing
down
that.
right up until the keeper. Right,
Sure.
the keeper just starts past it between the defenders. Shelby turns round. Where's everyone else? In our fucking half. No
I
one
seen-
even made the effort to try and catch up.
I seen Shelby, Yosselu, and I think another player, I can't remember who it was, all done what you've just said, and then turned around and went, like, put their arms out and go, where are you?
Where the fuck are yous?
Where are you? It's just... And I was watching it with my dad, right?
It's quite ironic Shelby doing that, though, isn't it?
And-
Because he's normally the one that's standing back on
He
the
is.
our
But
back.
I thought he
I've got to
did
give
well.
him
I
credit
thought
against
he
the
did
Chelsea
well.
game. I thought he did play well.
I did
It was
as well.
probably one of his better games.
Even when he was finding really good passes that were offside. Like, there was one where Gale, he played a lovely ball through to Gale, and Gale headed it to Richie.
Oh, he's
was
miles
10 yards
offside? Aye, he was,
Get
aye.
back onside, man.
Aye.
Like, there was loads of times when I seen Chelsea get, and I appreciate that their players were a lot more valuable than ours and all the rest of it, but nearly every player them had was willing to carry the ball. Every player.
Just walk
Even
with it,
Zaka
yeah.
Costa, man. Every player was willing to run with the ball. And I looked at
Confidence
our
and
team.
comfort on the ball.
We
wasn't
didn't
it?
have anyone, did we? Like, you look at our team, Sabi is not going to run with the ball. Shelby can't, he's just not that type of player. Hayden will not run with the ball.
Bye.
There's probably... Richie won't even run with the ball. So all of a
Richie,
sudden you think-
we said this before, he's the most negative winger I've ever seen. And I
He's not a winger.
don't understand. I don't understand why we're playing him. Like,
I was quite surprised when he was because he played essentially that number 10 role, didn't he?
He did, he did it. And
he's just so negative, man. His first touch is to put his back at goal, then pass it back over towards one of our defenders.
I can't...
Every time.
I can't criticise his work rate and his will to win.
No, of
and
course not.
His professionalism, everything. It's just that quality, isn't it, that he just does not have. Like,
The thing is, with this team, I love this group of players, right? You can see the majority of them are giving them all every single game. But at the end of the day, they're just not good enough. And it doesn't matter how hard they work, it's all about talent.
It's just frustrating when you know they are capable of more.
I think
and you're
they
just
are,
not.
aye.
I think
you're just
a
not
couple
getting
of them,
I honestly do think there's
And
better
that's the
than
thing.
that,
It's the
like.
players that we know are capable of doing it that just aren't. Gale can score goals. He's
Yeah.
just not taking his chances at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
Richie
He's
can
not
do.
he's not even actually.
he didn't even look arsed.
He's not
half
even
the
I know,
time.
I'm not-
contributing, is he? He's not even contributing to the game anymore. Like, not even that.
Well, a lot of the time he just. I don't know. He just seems off the pace of the game and like not.
We're now
Not
at the
with it.
point where Yosselu, as a striker, we know Muro's not going to play because Rafa doesn't like him. You know for fine well, Yosselu should be the first name on that team sheet when it comes to strikers.
I think the thing is he is most games, isn't he?
That says everything.
That with £5 million striker is.
Yeah, he is one, mate. And I've got nothing. To be honest, I haven't got much against Yosselu. A lot of fans really have it out for him, and
I like him.
I don't mind him at all.
But that's because they expect him to be scoring 20, 30 goals a season. He's not that type of striker. We've said it time and time again. He's the type he needs somebody playing alongside of him. If Gale was on the ball, like we know he's capable of playing on the shoulder, showing that pace that he's had, that just seems to have deserted him, then you know
I'm at
there's
the point
no
now
reason
where-
them two couldn't link up and do well.
I'd rather see Perez starting ahead of Gale up front. And that's how.
I'm
I
gonna be
can't
honest,
believe I
yes.
could actually agree with you on that
I'm
point.
gonna
But
say
yeah,
that.
yeah. At least he would give you
Feel his temperature?
some energy, movement, and a bit of desire to get forward, I guess.
I 100% agree. I didn't even think of it, to be honest, but I would. Absolutely. But I don't really like him either. But
for me, he's just too late to play, too lightweight to play that striker role.
The second half in that game, though, I mean, I know we were 2-0 down. I appreciate the dressing room must have been flat. I do get that.
I don't think it was as bad as you were saying after the game.
Oh, the second half was awful, man. We didn't even... We were playing the game as if we were winning 1-0. Like, as if we were in control of the game. We were in the lead. We never, ever tried to get at them at any point in that second half at all. And then the old one I've said many, many times, they get a free kick that possibly might not have been. We'll put a 15-man wall up and give him a target to hit, and he hits it.
It was an unreal free kick, though, wasn't it?
Well,
Man, he's a murderer.
I just think don't make a wall and get your keeper to stand.
But I don't even have to say allegedly, because he did actually murder someone.
Hey, Alonso? Did he?
Drink driving, aye.
Oh, did he? That's not
Aye.
right. Well, he murdered us. But anyway, it's horrendous. It's just schoolboy. I know Darlow made it look pretty in that.
Yeah, Darlow was standing really,
Because
to one side of the post,
You've got to put the ball in that position.
It wasn't even in the corner. I watched it again. It wasn't in the corner.
It wasn't in the corner.
It wasn't in the corner.
Nah, but I'd like to see you line up and bend it up and over and get it back down in.
Alright, hey, that's what she said.
I reckon if you put a wall up like that and put the goalkeeper in that far to the left-hand side,
It's inviting them, putting it. It is
cause
inviting them.
Just don't make a wall. Get your keeper to stand in the middle and go shoot. If you can hit a dead ball from there, and you score, it's the best strike you've ever seen. It has to be laces.
Like I say, I don't understand why the keeper's standing behind the wall. Surely the wall is there to stop that ball getting lifted over.
It depends.
I know what he's there. It's obvious. The keeper's meant to get the left-hand side. Well, if you imagine you're the free kick,
to block it, isn't it?
Aye, the wall's meant to block it, and the keeper's going to save that side. So you think your goal's fine, but for me, you're just giving the free kick taker a target.
Yeah, because you're just looking down.
Now,
That's a canny little bit.
Let's be fair. There's no real power in it. There's a bit of bend. Now you imagine if you didn't have a wall and had your keeper in the middle of the goal, and he did that.
I'd save it.
He takes 2 steps to his left and just catches it.
Every single time.
I never understand. I mean, obviously, I've never been a professional coach or anything, so they'll probably shoot me down. But I'm telling you, if you didn't make a wall and just say shoot, he has to lace it. He has to use his laces then.
But why?
And
For him, he could just do exactly the same.
What you honestly think? No way. For your keeper standing in the middle of the goal, he can just bend it like he just catch it.
But even with a wall, why wouldn't you keep us stand in the middle?
Well, because then
there's a big difference.
No. If he stands in the middle of his goal and makes a wall, he then can't see anything. So he stands on the side where his wall's not, so he can see pretty much everything. Really, that's the idea. And then he keeps eye of this end of the goal. And if they go over the wall, then he's got a chance to get it. But he hasn't got a hope else chance. Yeah, he's got to take 1, 2, 3 steps before he can even dive to get across.
And he wasn't close to the ball.
He was nowhere near it, and that was his full stretch down.
And the ball wasn't nowhere near the corner, like.
It wasn't. And that's what I mean. If he stands in the middle of that goal with no wall, and he does that, he literally just laughs his head off. Cigar, catch. It's so easy, but no one ever does it. But anyway, that didn't cross with the game. I'm certainly not trying to say that I was defending from a free kick or whatever. No. But the attitude, it was the attitude of the second half. I didn't appreciate it at all.
What you're saying there is they looked comfortable in probably they were comfortable in the game. Yes, we were getting beat, but we were really being put under any great pressure and I guess that's why there wasn't any.
Which was the most frustrating thing.
It didn't look like there was that urgency and drive to try and get back into the game.
Exactly. Yeah. And even from Rafa's side of the argument here, and again, criticise him, I don't want to criticise him, but he had to be 2-0 with 20 minutes to go. Right, let's go for it now. Or maybe it was 3-0 by that side, I'm not quite sure. But at 2-0...
Who was the first sub? Was it Yedlin? Was it that one of the full-backs went off, didn't it? Because it was, in the end, it was Joselu, Murphy, and I'm sure it was when the full-backs came on.
At that stage, I really thought Joselu would have been with Gale. As much as Gale was poor, I thought he'd go 2 up top now and at least try and get back in the game. Imagine if he had just nicked the goal and made it 2-1 before Alonso scored. You never know, do you? There was just no urgency.
Was Marino injured? Because he wasn't even in the squad, was he?
Well, I didn't.
And is Mitrovic still injured? Because it's a cup game. Surely stick him in
told
there.
you he's fine, isn't he? I heard he was out in training, so he's fine.
No. I mean, he's talked about him saying that he's just out of the picture, isn't he? But Marino...
Do you think Rafa's got a massive chip on his shoulder with Mitrovic or something?
I wouldn't say if it's a chip on his shoulder. He just doesn't
doesn't fancy him.
What's difficult to realise, though, from anyone's perspective, considering you've only got Gale and Yosselu, it's all you've got to offer. How he can't even get a minute.
He doesn't.
Is unbelievable.
The thing is he doesn't fit into Rafa's game plan. But
Which
rather than change his approach and game plan to allow him to get into the team, there's the problem. He's stubborn in some aspects, isn't he? Of that he won't adjust his approach to fit the players that we've got.
It's not even necessarily changing his approach. Like, even bring him on for the last 15-20 minutes.
Well, especially
it's
when
worth the risk, especially if we're losing.
All we then do at that point is just hoof it up.
Aye.
It's our team most of the time.
It's a strange one we spoke about it so many times. I know Newcastle fans are like split right down the middle with Mitrovic, but however, we're not bringing the striker in. It looks very bleak at the minute to bring the striker in. You've got one there who can offer something different. So, but instead of like we're supporting him saying, "I give him a chance," you've got fans going, "Well, he's fucking shit." Like, however, man, is he any worse than what we're playing at the minute?
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's definitely not. Anyone that says that he is needs to have a serious.
The top one is the
Him and Yoxley are probably on
each other, but
he's an international footballer who scores goals. He's played Champions League before. He scored 9 goals, or maybe even more, in the team that went down under McLaren. He scored 8 or 9 goals, Premier League goals.
Yeah, but then people were slating him because he had only scored that many goals.
Oh,
like he was like 20-year-old or something, wasn't he, at the time?
He's never going to be the answer.
And he came from a different league to the Premier League to a struggling team. He still scored 9 goals. He's 20-year-old. How are you, man? What we're expecting?
Oh, no, I agree completely. I totally agree. I totally agree.
And I saw someone saying, but he had like the likes of Wijnaldum and blah blah and Townsend and that. I went, well, Wijnaldum only turned up for half the fucking games.
He was shy anyway. He was shy.
It boils me fucking piss.
No, I agree. It gets me as well.
If we played him, we'd have to change our approach to play Murphy and Atsu, because at least they can get down and put a cross into the box.
Yeah. It's a thankful task at times for any of us strikers, because of I think how negative we are most of the time. Like we don't. You watched the game against Chelsea. The amount of times we lost possession in good areas of the field. You know, we're on the attack.
It's that final third.
They're not even really trying to tackle at this point, and we'll overhit the pass, goes out for a goal kick. And you're like, this is schoolboy stuff here. You're talking a 10-yard pass here. You know, there's one time when Clark, no offence to Clark, but he bombed forward, tried to play a through ball, literally hit the back of the stand, man.
Yeah.
You know, the lack of composure and sheer quality in that final third is absolutely embarrassing. Like, it's absolutely embarrassing.
It is, but there's only one way to improve that, and that's by bringing people in.
Well, going to that one, I'm still at a loss of how Rafa's constantly said that he gives him them names on the 1st of January. And it wasn't until he come back from holiday when we're now going to break the record. Apparently, you know, we got the green light, we're going to sign some players. And you think,
it's the same shite every year. It's the same shite every year.
Have we even put a bid in that would break the record yet?
No.
Because there's been 2 bids, and I
13
think
and 15, isn't it? That's what's been reported.
So we haven't even put the.
So no, we haven't. How are we going to break our record when we're not? We're still bidding less than our record signing.
I still say that with a pinch of salt. I'll be honest. I know I just said it, but the breaking the record, I've never heard, you know, an actual representative of the club say that. It's been a lot of press, hasn't it? And the press get a lot of hassle on Twitter and stuff, especially the Sky guys like Pete Graves and that. But he's bid £15 million, right? So obviously the money is clearly there to do that. Otherwise he wouldn't bid it. Because if they accepted it and he didn't have it, or he didn't want to spend it, he'd be shitting himself.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit. It's this argument of, well, I want to sign Messi, but I'll bid 15 million. It's one of them where, it's, as we said last week, it's you've tried. So, we did bid 15 million and we're going to double his wages. But if it's not the valuation of the player, then you're never going to get it.
It seems a bit rich, though, doesn't it?
It's that cat and mouse negotiation, but it's all right him harping on about if that's what he wants for the club. But if he won't, when the shoe's on the other foot and there's a club asking him for a price,
is it a Lonsdale shoe?
Fucking probably, or a Slazenger.
It's just so frustrating, and it's just awful when you see the likes of West Brom getting the Sturridge one. I spoke about it before. I still think the Sturridge one. I honestly think we were unlucky on that one. Like,
let's talk about the Sturridge one then.
100%, he was coming.
That was what was reported, is that they expected him to come up, travel up on the day. The difference is that as soon as that is then hit the press, It's alerted other clubs to the fact that he may be available because he's in chat talks with us and on his way up. Obviously, Pardew gets on the phone to Liverpool and says, "Head on it. If he's available, I'm interested in him. You know, whatever the deal is on the table, I'll match it," kind of thing. And from his point of view, he's from down there. It's an easier commute for him to
Do you
to
think
get
it's a
there.
coward's way out?
I think he's bottled it.
I'm a little bit.
You've got to look at it from a point of view of you're talking 5 months. He's got a young family. He's got his missus down there for 5 months. Is he going to up all of that and move them up to here for 5 months to then go back?
No.
Or is he going to stay where he is and drive an hour to Birmingham, or go to down where all of his family are and the family of his family?
I still think he's bottled it.
See, in terms of me saying bottled,
But that's like saying Shearer bottled going to Man United because he wanted to come to Newcastle.
but we
Look at that from.
But we were
that point
title
of view.
challenge. He wouldn't have come to us if we were third bottom.
Do you think-
he came to us because we were title?
So do you think if
challengers?
someone
And
like
I see-
Spurs came in for a Sturridge for a loan deal, he wouldn't have went to Spurs?
he would 100%. There's no doubt about
He
it.
would have 100% went. I think he's bottled it because he knows he'll be under a lot more pressure at Newcastle United than what he would be at West Brom.
But do you not think though, if you looked at the other side of the coin, the guy's played Champions League football, he's represented England in major competitions. He's playing for Liverpool, man. Like, you kind of get many. There is bigger clubs, but there's not many bigger. So he's certainly played at a lot higher level. I do see two sides of the coin. I see it as what you're saying is that, you'd get a harder time off us maybe if you got injured and then didn't play. But I also see Mark's point of, for 5 months, I could play regular first team football with a team that's got, I would honestly say they're a decent side, personally. Let's just think of him sitting in the house, right, watching that game. So you watch us against Man City. See all the bad press we got against Man City for defending for 90
That
minutes,
wouldn't help, though.
right? And then you watch Liverpool against West Brom at Liverpool, and they've absolutely caned them.
Yeah.
Caned them.
Yeah.
He must think, actually, I'd rather be part of that. I know people say, like, I can't believe he chose Pardew over Rafa. There's a lot more goes on than just a manager, I would imagine. It did upset us, though, that we had lost a player like that to the likes of Pardew and West Brom, for Christ's sake. That's tough to take. Like.
But
if it's his family
he came out and
stuff,
said that it's
I
for
know.
family. No, he hasn't said it's because of football and reasons.
Yeah.
He said it's because family reasons and stuff. And yes, it could be an easy way out, but when he couldn't care less about us, so he's got to do what's right for him and his family, which he believes is to go there. From an aspirational point of view, then yes, I totally believe it's the wrong decision, and every single pundit
Everyone
came out
else,
and said
aye.
that.
That's surprising as well, isn't it?
Even
I wasn't
Ian,
expecting that,
Ian
like-
Wright even came out and said,
Did I?
I
Said
can't
it was
believe he would choose West Brom over Newcastle, and he hates us.
And that's no disrespect
And
to West
his
Brom.
best
that,
mate,
like,
his
but-
bloody manager, is the manager.
Yeah,
of West
aye.
Brom.
And Bellamy, I was watching the debate last night, which one we touch on. But I went on to the debate, and Bellamy,
Is Bellamy on there every week?
pretty much, they had what's he called? Is it the Chelsea bloke, the chief executive? He just hugged the mic the whole time. Like, I can't pronounce his name. He was chief executive, I think, of Chelsea, and he was on it last night, and he was really like full of himself. But anyway, because he criticised Rafa loads. This guy, he was saying Rafa's not doing enough. He's not getting enough out of the team. He's more.
I seen them
moaning
comments.
I saw Lee Ryder say
like,
something
big
about him,
time,
aye.
like, he
And he
just-
went to the same person at a point today, Roy Hodgson at
because I think he
Liverpool.
was at Liverpool as well. So he's obviously got a background of business and all the rest of it for the clubs. He had said,
Rafa's hated at Chelsea anyway.
Yeah.
Bellamy had said the same. He was like, I am surprised that he hasn't, having 50. You imagine if he was on a team sheet tomorrow, like, no offence, my God, would be
It'd
just
be electric, man.
because we've been starved of any type of superstar for so long. Sturridge was just such a class above anything we've had for years. Even though we have got injury concerns and
That was my big worry about him, was would he come and just not play?
Well, I've read Gerard's book. I think I've mentioned before. Gerard says that he had to, like, they used to go for walks before kick-off, man, around the park, and he had to go and stand with them. Like, the physio would say, you need to go and have a word with Dan this morning. So he'd have to run towards the front and say, we need you today, Daniel, we need you, you're number one for us and we need you to play. That was to rev him up to play against Liverpool. He had a title-winning opportunity against Man City, for example. Is he going to put it in against Burnley on Wednesday? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. But what I would say, though, is, and going back to what I said at the start, is a 80% or a 70% Sturridge better than 100% Gale? I think it is.
100%.
I still think his touch, his quality, his everything is better than Gale's.
Yeah.
And the rest of the players though, your Richies, your Lascelles, everyone would think, "Great, we've got Daniel Sturridge playing for us."
You would
It's
hope
just
everyone
that-
would step up a little bit, wouldn't you?
That's what you're hoping for anyway. That's what you're hoping for. It's not going to be, is it? So, but but
I think that then we know that's not going to happen because he's signed for West Brom. So your number one target is this kid
Jorgensen
from
or whatever he's
Feyenoord,
called.
Jorgensen. Then so you've just got to go make the deal happen now. At this stage, if you're offering 15 million, yes, you might think you're getting bent over a barrel and it's more than you want to play, but at this late stage, just fucking suck it up and pay the money.
well, two things I've heard that them have said no now. Them said that there were 6 p.m. Mondays. They're done. They're not going to sell them.
But they've done a press conference after that and saying that it's not over yet.
So
We'll
if
see
you-
what happens.
If you imagine Sturridge, I know it's only reports. £1.5 million for Sturridge and then 140 grand a week.
Well, it was we worked out at £7 million for 5 months.
There we go. So
It was at Sturridge.
For Sturridge.
He's on
For
100
5
on 120 grand a week at Liverpool. He's him Milner and who else? Because I sent a message to you to him, Milner and
probably Van Dijk.
Van Dijk since he came in, but he wasn't on the
Salah.
week.
Firmino was
Salah.
that? Salah was Salah.
No, it wasn't Salah.
Wasn't
He was on because third world country.
It doesn't really matter.
But he was him and another two players are the highest paid players at Liverpool.
So you're talking
120
7
grand a
million for a player that's not yours.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Ashley's business
that
sense,
is half of the fee
yeah,
that you would
need to-
be paying.
we need to add less than that to get this player full time and be our man. That to me doesn't really make much sense to me. Like.
Woodpecker, please. Does anyone else want one?
Yeah, I've got one in the pump.
Can I pinch one or buy one back? Get us another bottle of brown, mate. Do you know what I mean though? Like if it's 5 million, apparently more, maybe 4 might be a nick it, 19 might be a nick it. You're willing to pay 7 for a 5-month loan?
Yeah.
I find that one a bit tough. A bit weird. What's that?
Go on.
Big quiz. The thing which you think though, say if we get this deal done early tomorrow, so the fact that he's on a plane getting over, I don't think it'll happen. But say if it is, people listen to this now. The transfer windows I went done with him. He's still not yet. But if say we get him and the deal, we've agreed a deal, first thing tomorrow, or even like tonight at some point, can you see either Gale going to Fulham or Mitrovic going elsewhere? And that's money straight away, isn't it?
Well,
Because Fulham are still interested in
I
Gale.
don't think
Nobody
we can
will go.
afford. I don't think even if we bring him in, I still don't think we can afford to let anybody go.
I don't think we can, but I think we would.
Nobody will go.
Especially Mitrovic. He's not playing anyway.
He'll not go. He'll not 3-1. He'll not go. No. Rafa said that unless someone comes in, no one will go. And even if he doesn't play Mitrovic, that's fair enough. However, imagine Gale got done for the season. Then you've only got Yosselu. You have to then.
We've been in that boat before when Ferdinand.
So many times,
I
I don't think we've had a season. But I don't think we've had a season under Ashley where we haven't had a massive injury crisis. And we haven't had one yet this season.
No,
So you
do
can see
what's
it
funny
coming,
as well?
can't you?
We lost Lascelles for a while.
But
That was a hernia though.
we had cover though, didn't we?
In fairness, I actually meant to mention that ages ago. I remember Rafa's brought in a lot of like sports science in different scenarios at the training, better pitches, different pitches at training.
We used to have a terrible injury
We
record.
did. We had the worst injury record ever. And in fairness to them, and I've always said this about players. You know when things are going really shit, you always find people. Oh, I've got a tight hamstring.
Because players just
And in
don't want to be
fairness to them,
included, man.
There's never any injury problems. I know Rafa likes to
Rotate.
so you might not get that. But in fairness, you never have many injuries. I never see like, oh, he's out for like. Marino's had a bad one. Marino, and he's admitted that and said it's the worst injury he's ever had. And I think that's why he's struggling.
He's struggled since he
Yedlin was
came
out
back.
for a while as well, wasn't he? Yedlin missed a few games.
More so at the start,
of the
wasn't it?
season was out, yeah.
But
Obviously, Dummett's been out.
You look at West Ham. West Ham's
Half
got
of the
12
season.
first-team players injured at the moment.
that's what I mean. That's
We
all
have nothing
individual
like that.
players we're saying. We've had nothing where it's been like a collective amount of players. Where there's been like 3 or 4 players injured at the same time.
In that sense.
But to be honest, it's probably there probably is players carrying knocks, but they can't afford to not play them because you haven't got anybody to come in and replace them.
It's just like
Gale's the only one that springs to mind who has been allegedly more injured than not.
He's had a bit of a bad hamstring, hasn't he? Like itty-bitty hamstring, a canny bit.
yeah.
And Yosselu, in fairness to him, gets shit at home off home fans constantly cheered for coming off and boo coming on, and he just puts up with it. He gets kicked the fuck. Most games
does,
he
he
gets
does,
absolutely battered. And I think, and again, I'm not saying that he is the answer, but I still believe that if you had better players around him, or certainly more confidence players around him, he would be a better player.
He's not as bad as what people make out.
God, no.
People do not appreciate what he gives you in that team.
I agree completely. And that's the thing. What the problem is with the fence at the minute really is that when people like us say things like that, people think, "What, you think that he's like the next Shearer?" No,
of course not.
That's what I'm saying. There's this argument of as soon as you say someone's good or isn't appreciated or whatever it is, they automatically think you're saying that he's really good.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean by that? Whereas we're not saying he's really, really good. Far from it. But he's all right. He's actually all right.
He's not the worst player we've ever had. I'll tell you that.
God,
he's in the worst possible position to come and play for Newcastle, because our strikers never ever get a fair crack of the whip, because they're always immediately put on a pedestal and expected to do more.
Luke De Jong, fucking hell, remember him?
Well, he was exactly.
Pod you start playing him on the left wing.
But remember, like Cisse came and he banged all them goals in. Of course, it was unbelievable. He had then a bit of a bad spell. And it was funny, it was about 2 months ago.
But people used to say Cisse was shit.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying.
Cisse, people used to go, he's
always
offside. And where I sit
he was
in line where your strikers are supposed to be when they make the run. He was always making the run and hoping that ball was
we had that conversation.
It was so slow on it.
The pass was never coming. So he would make the run.
And he was so far offside because people hadn't caught up with him.
Because it was that.
I like Cisse, I did like Cisse.
Well,
Cisse and Ball together were unreal. Remy, in that time that he came, he was just different class.
What a player he was.
If we could have kept a hold of him, that was
he just did not want to be here, did he?
I watched a few highlights of him, Remy, and we played. I could be totally wrong in the opposition, but I think we played. It might have been Cardiff away. I don't know if Cardiff were in the Premier League then, but anyway, he scored. They were over the yellow strip with the blue shorts at the Brazil one.
Yeah.
He's honestly, I've seen 2 goals he scored in that game, and I thought, fuck. We haven't got any player that could do that.
I still remember his first game he came and played, and I said to you after the match, I said, that is like watching Thierry Henry.
Oh, he's amazing.
The way that he moved behind the players, dropped off into the left, and then came inside and stuff like that. He
was unreal. He really was unreal. Him like
he's still sitting there rotting away.
No, he's not. He's our. Where's he playing?
He had an argument with the manager. Mexico or something terrible, like really bad.
Yeah. Remy.
Spain, isn't it?
Is it Spain? Is it? He's not happy though with the manager. He's had
just got this week. Yeah.
Has he?
Oh, there you go.
That's gone.
That's that pipe dream.
But like, why are we looking back at players we should be bringing back? Like, bring Ben Arthur back. He just said today that you want to. Bring him back. What are we going to lose?
He's
bring him back.
That's what we've got to lose. He's
bring him back.
Do you think he's better
than Richie?
Do you think
he's not?
Fuck off, man. He's winding him up now.
He's not even better than Perez.
At least you know what you're going to get with Ben Arthur.
I think you know when
you're going to get him pick up the ball, beat 20 players, and run it out to play.
Fuck off, man. At least he's going to try something.
Beat 20 players. I'll take that any day.
He's beaten fucking them twice.
I think I know we'll never go for him. I understand that, but I just like going back to let's say realistic transfers. Watford getting Delafeu. Now the Watford manager's
where's that came from?
Like, how is that realistic?
He's only been there 8 minutes.
That's what I mean.
Watford manager. How could he have the conversation with the Barcelona representative? Like, I want him. If Watford can attract, I don't know. He might not be on Rafa's list, but surely he's the type of player you would be going for.
It's something totally left field, isn't it? Where you just you don't see a transfer like that coming.
It's like, we'll try with this one.
And then the turn around and say, yeah, fine. But again, where is then those whispers breaking through into other teams to say, "Hang on, he's available and he's now..." Because it seemed to be nothing was heard, and then 5 minutes it was like, "Oh, he's been linked with Watford." 10 minutes later,
he's in shit, aye.
Well, we don't.
So how was it kept that quiet and under the radar? Whereas, and I mean, I guess it's got a lot to do with the representatives and stuff like that, and the agents. Where as soon as obviously the deal was done with Sturridge, he would have been on to every club going. He would have been on to the news, breaking the news that he's doing. So that. Oh
yeah, of course he would have been. He would have been on the phone to all his contacts saying, Newcastle's, blah blah blah. Agreed a fee with them. He's all set to go there for a medical this afternoon. Pull your finger out now.
Yeah, if we're willing to spend 120 grand a week on Sturridge for the 5 or 6 months, there's obviously the capital is there.
I was going to
Has to
spoken
be
on
there.
Mangala, apparently.
Well, yeah, I don't quite understand that one either. To be fair, I don't. And I don't want to knock anyone that comes in because then we'll start getting in this. I say it on Twitter.
But it's
all
not
the
a
time.
crucial position, is it?
I do agree. I do agree completely. But we have this scenario where we'll never sign anyone. We'll sign someone. He's shy. Why would we go for him? All this. I'll never criticise anyone that comes in the club. If we sign someone, we'll just have to get on with it and see what happens.
Unless his name's Murphy.
No. I disagree there. Like, I know you have a go at it for that. I'll not criticise anyone for coming in. Like Craigie, man.
He'd criticise him once he gets on the pitch.
Depends how much he is.
I seen someone criticise.
How much? 12 million?
Well, after Sturridge, and someone was criticising saying he can't dance if he scores and things like that. Like
I saw a few of them like saying he better not do that dancing.
better not
I'd love to see him. Well, I said to you.
It means he scored a fucking
I'd love
goal.
to see him do because he then just scored. Exactly.
if that's the first thing that comes to your mind, like literally, you link with Daniel Sturridge when we've got the two. Well, I don't want to criticise him. We've only got two strikers at the club, and you link with Daniel Sturridge, who's like ridiculously talented. And the first thing you think, I better not do that dance if he scores. That's
There's
what's
loads.
that about, man?
Sums it up.
There's loads of them knocking about though. Loads and loads of them.
I just lost for words at times, honestly. Lost
If it's
for
not
words.
raining, it's pouring.
It's fucking pissing doing.
It's
Pissing
pouring.
doing.
But realistically, do you think we'll sign anyone?
Nah. Nah, not a single person.
Couldn't get it over the line.
Like not a single person.
3 p.m. You'll just see the yellow ticker bar and it'll say closed for business.
Like
It's absolutely pathetic.
let's remember we've got a
We could
game.
be sitting
We've got a
here-
game against Burnley tomorrow night. So unless deals are already sorted before that, there's nothing going to be happening, is there?
No, well, I don't know.
No,
'cause
because things can.
you've got that head of recruitment. He does a good job.
Rafa is.
It took him
came out
fucking
and
a
said
year to
himself.
get Kennedy up here,
He is
that-
focused.
and only put him on a train.
But is that not the?
He's got the best
That is
job
not. Then looking at them, they have identified him. We've apparently had this deal agreed twice before.
Ever. Who's this? Sorry.
Kennedy.
Therefore, the top and bottom of it is that either the money wasn't there, they wouldn't stump up and do it, or there was a blocker. So apparently it was Chelsea that were
Aye,
blocked in the
But why?
summer. But
If
what
that's a
about-
point, why don't they just go, fuck you, move on to the next? Because they're happy not to spend the money. They're happy not to spend it. If we lose that one, we're first target, we're second target, we're third target, then they'll just turn around and say, well, we tried.
Exactly. And we've been here, God knows how many Januaries.
Like, someone said,
When was the last time we signed a player in January?
I read that. I was reading that the other day. It was horrendous.
Was it Remy?
I don't know.
No,
Did we not sign him in the January on loan?
it
got
was
no
someone.
idea.
It was someone who only signed one player in the last 5
Oh,
Januaries.
Townsend. No, it was
Townsend we got in January.
Shelby.
Townsend.
And Shelby.
Well, it was after. No, it was after the 21st of January. We've only signed one player in the last 5 January windows. After the 21st.
Oh, I did see that, aye.
And I was like,
I have
Jesus,
not got a clue who it
That
was.
just didn't look good to me. Like, and it wasn't.
Was it
even
not
someone
Townsend?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even someone that good. You know, it was quite.
Wasn't it?
No, it was Savvy or someone. Someone that it wasn't someone you would have expected anyway. Or was it not Dumbia or something bad, you know?
No,
It
I'm not
literally
saying
wasn't.
it
Fuck yeah, now.
Oh, no,
definitely
it's
not.
a good
That
dig.
was-
I don't think we're far off going back in
I
for
think it
him.
was Dumbia. I think it was
We did
Dumbia.
can't do
I don't think we're far off trying to get a bid in for him.
Nah, Townsend
with
was
this
after
far down the
Dumbia,
list?
wasn't he?
No, he was early on. Him and Shelby were about the 15th, 14th, and there was the
Was that the
only
same
person.
window?
No, he means like date.
Oh,
The date-
date
no, I'm
wise,
saying the
right.
date.
Sorry,
We've
right.
only signed one player after the
So
21st.
we signed him a couple of seasons earlier, but it was later in the window.
Yes,
indeed.
so
Yeah.
after the 21st of January, we've only signed one player in the last 5 January windows. And that person, I think, was Dumbia. I think. I could be wrong with the name, but I think it was. But that just proves how bad we are doing business. Rafa's given them this list the 1st of January. It's the fucking 31st, man.
Well, I think
nearly.
Rafa in his press conference today said we've been working over a month to get these
Well,
in.
because he knows. That,
Straight talking about the
because
Kennedy deal.
they're trying to work on it through November, December, so that you get to the 1st of January and you sign them.
Our head of recruitment must get a bonus for not signing anyone. Do you reckon?
Save money.
Can you imagine that
I
being on your
want
CV?
his job.
Oh, 100%
Like,
you do.
what are the credentials to get that job?
Can you imagine your
Do
CV?
nothing.
I'm going to go and prove it. I was head of recruitment in Newcastle. Who did you sign? Absolutely no one. Oh, you got the job then? Like, what, like, how?
How good are you pretending to put bids in?
Like, but I would say, and I said this last
I didn't
week
even
as
know
well.
I had a head of recruitment until I saw a photo of him a
Oh,
couple
on
of
his
weeks
phone.
ago.
On the phone is, let's get the tea on. I'm coming home. We're not buying anything.
Is it,
Early
not just,
finish.
is it not just Shirley from HR?
I'll be home for you loose women.
Head of recruitment, but it's just really Shirley from HR, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Like, head of recruitment,
Netflix
was
and chill.
Carr's job, or was he just head scout?
Scout, wasn't he?
Who, sorry?
Carr, was that Green
Oh,
Carr's?
Carr, he used to
Like,
just-
what is head of recruitment? Like, what does he do? Like, I know he doesn't do anything, but what's he supposed to
do?
do?
They not negotiate the deal?
Well, so what's Charlie doing?
I thought it was Charlie's job.
So what's head of recruitment doing?
Well, I always thought
Fuck off.
personally.
Does Rafa give his list ahead of recruitment?
I don't know.
Does anyone know?
No, it's our site.
Who is he?
Unless
I'm
he gets the
Conte,
unless he
the
gets the
man.
list and then he rings up and goes, "Hello, is that Chelsea? Yes, we're interested in Kennedy. Thanks." No, he's not for sale. All right, bye.
I still say the one.
Is that what he sounds like?
And I said this last week. Was that if
Hello, is that Feyenoord?
if Ashley's given
Yeah.
it £10 and this player's worth £1,000,
Yeah.
they're trying to just simplify things. You're done. Like, I don't care who you've got sitting in that chair. Like, you could have Rafa sit. For example, I honestly thought Rafa would have had so many contacts. It's certainly on loan. I'm not saying sign someone,
yeah.
but to get somebody on loan with his experience, his contacts, he can't even pull anyone in, man.
He probably
anyone
has got the contacts.
No, he has, but that's what I'm saying.
He's
Well,
got fucking Muppets surrounded the club, hasn't he?
No, but well, yes, but what I'm saying is it all stops with him upstairs, is Ashley.
Yeah.
And if Rafa could say, going back to the Keegan thing,
He's
I'll
got
get
a rubber
Modric tomorrow
stamp.
for you.
He's
I can
got
get
a-
Modric, I can get him.
Rubber stamp the checks, doesn't he? And
Exactly.
and
when he
sign
says
off on it.
we're not going to do it, it doesn't matter who you've got because it's all about money. It's all about money. It's not reputation anymore. We can't even get Sturridge to come to Newcastle anymore. So our reputation's done. We are no longer what we thought we were.
We are no longer Newcastle United. We are Mike Ashley's Newcastle United.
Aye. And can you honestly, hand on heart, if you were a player and go, oh, do I want to go there?
Oh, looking from the outside in, I don't blame Sturridge.
Exactly. You have to look at that side of the coin.
I know. I mean, people
Unfortunately,
are
it's hard for
talking
us to
about,
get,
you know, he's got the opportunity to go and play in front of 52,000 people. He's got the opportunity to go and play in front of 52,000 moaning, whinging cunts. Well, sorry, 51,000.
We're including them.
Swansea won 3-1, you know.
We're including them.
3-1.
Because
We need to stop recording podcasts
talked
when Swansea play.
about it time and time again. The atmosphere at home, and it's gonna be like that.
Tomorrow night.
past-
Shit.
Tomorrow might be too early for it.
Oh, I don't think
Depending
it
on
will
what
be.
happens, but I mean, you heard it against Chelsea constantly. You heard it in the games before.
Tomorrow is going to be toxic.
They were
Absolute
They were mid down
toxic.
Chelsea though. in
It's
fairness.
gonna be-
I thought we could hear
Oh, you could
all
hear
the
them
time.
constantly, but you could hear exactly what,
Oh,
what
they
were
were
singing.
singing that song, and that's all well and good. But I heard a lot of positive as well. They were
Oh, yeah.
3-0, man, and they were
that's-
still singing.
Rafa's
that
name
song.
was
is
getting
away
sung at
from-
full time.
That's away from home, where you know for a fact everybody's going to go get behind the team and sing. That doesn't happen at home.
I wish you could have that pocket in there.
You can guarantee that there's going to be the ums, the ahs, the sighs, the groans, and
It's
the
a
moans.
nighttime game as well. I always think nighttime games are worse, you know, because the old tradition when I was a kid, on and the floodlights them in. People are just pissed off that they have a rush from work.
I
That
don't
road didn't
want to
work.
fucking want to be
Aye,
here.
it's freezing cold. I've got to get the metro home. They didn't even want to be there. And then when you watch us, it's not the greatest at times. So that it doesn't help the matter. And next thing you know, it's just sometimes what you need in the referee to do the worst decision ever.
Yeah.
And then the fans
Yeah.
react in a
Good-
sometimes
put a
better
good-
way.
a
Sometimes.
good tackling, win a ball, it's that.
Everything
get
I think
people
Aiden
up
should do.
behind.
But we're not getting involved on criticising.
Aye, let's not start on
I
that
do
one.
apologise.
So, like, are we all in agreement that we're not getting anyone else in?
Nobody.
It's fucking
Nobody.
depressing being a Newcastle.
Rafa
fan.
said something today in his press conference, and it was what you were expecting, saying that the team's there and we've got to fight. And I was like, oh no, that just means no one's coming in.
Well, he said I'm still confident. He said I'm still confident that we can get people. We've still got time. And he said it was copy and paste from the last one.
Do you not think Rafa is?
It's copy and paste from the last 4 managers.
Do you not think Rafa's doing like similar, like the way Keegan went? Because Rafa doesn't want to walk, right? Because it's going to cost Rafa money if he walks. Can this be classed as a constructive
It's not as if
dismissal? Yeah,
absolutely.
because he
Absolutely.
must have promises in his contract,
Absolutely.
right, about money getting spent and ambitions
it's
of the
a
club.
carbon copy. Absolute carbon.
It's just
copy.
Keegan over again.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest. I expected more from Rafa in regards to not holding back in situations like this. Like I would.
But he's already done that, and it's got him nowhere because all they did was the press came out and slated him for whinging about the
Did I?
No. That was. He could have done that a bit better. Like for me, if he just sits down and goes, "I was promised this and this didn't happen." Like I mean that
Just
down
blunt.
the line.
Be blunt.
Absolutely down the line. Like say. I give them the list of talks on the 1st of January. Not one. He did do that, I think, a little bit last January.
I
he
think
was
he probably.
furious last
I think
January.
if we don't get through anybody through the door, come that first week of February, once it closes, and he does his press conferences and stuff like that, I think that'll come out.
I hope so.
I think you'll see a change. I don't think you'll see a change in
So I
Rafa.
really hope he
Because
just
he's having to toe the line somewhat because he wants to ensure that if there is any chance that it goes through, that it's still he still supports that. But
you might get it now.
as
Liverpool,
soon as
when he got his facts out, remember his paper?
yeah.
It would be amazing if he pulled something like that. I said, right, 1st of January I spoke to him and he said this and really just went to town.
He has a recorded conversation.
It would just be like, because that's what, that's what he deserves really, doesn't he, Ashley? And all the board, all of them do, all deserve it. If Rafa could just, if it doesn't go ahead tomorrow, after the Burnley game, and then just goes for it, just says, this is it. Yeah. First of all, I believe in my players, I love all my players, they're my players, but, bang. And then just give it, just go down the line. And then...
Let's be honest, we're slated Pardew for not doing that.
Absolutely.
And as much as we dislike Pardew always got the goalpost changed. Like, he expected money to be coming in, and it never was.
I didn't want to... I better not say anything because I'll get wrong.
Don't defend Pardew.
Say no.
You really want to defend Pardew. They give him shit anyway.
No.
Give him shit anyway. Just don't call people spades this week. So where now?
Well, let's look at the positives.
I think we should go to Winchester and wait until it all blows over.
I think we should try and look at the positives. We've got Kennedy in, right? We need to try and get behind him. It's his first home game. We need to try. He'll play them.
I hope he plays.
I think he'll start. I think he'll
Do you
start.
play left back or left wing?
I actually honestly believe he'll play number 10 in some games.
Really?
Because I know he's actual... No, listen, I'll tell you why. I've done a bit of research about him. His actual position is an attacking right midfielder, right? That's his actual position. But Chelsea have been playing him on the left-hand side because he can play there.
That's where he's...
But his actual position is originally an attacking right midfielder. And I believe, as time goes on, I'm not saying tomorrow, I'm not saying next week, I think he'll put him in number 10 and go and cause some trouble. Just get the ball, run at people, and I think...
I wasn't expecting that, like.
He's tricky, like, he is tricky from
and you might look back at Mosaic and go, he's an absolute shite. But all I'm saying is his natural position originally was attacking right midfield, and I honestly think if you could... He's the type of player where, like, like say you... I know you don't like him, but like say your Ben Arthurs, your Ginolas, he's obviously got something, hasn't he? He's got a lot of skill.
Flair.
I didn't want him playing left back. No offence here. Let's get him on the offensive side of the field and get him running at players.
But that's the thing is you're looking for that flair, but with a bit of discipline, aren't you? And I think that's certainly what Rafa will be looking for is more discipline from him.
Discipline in what regard? Sorry.
In playing a role, playing for the team and stuff like that.
That
discipline in his position.
That might be something he has to learn because I don't think he would have been under the scrutiny where he's going to be under our formations.
Oh, of course,
our
complete opposite.
He may never have played in this type of environment in terms of like you stay in this hole and you do this and that. Blah, blah, blah. I suppose probably going back to you're right what you say there. Rafa probably would never say to a player, "Go and cause trouble."
Yeah.
Like I would, or Robson or
do what you want.
Would say, "Go on and cause drop bombs," type of thing. Do you know what I mean? Which is what I would do. You know. With certain players, I would say just go out there, cause trouble. Yeah. You know, not trouble. Especially, people, I mean, on the ball trouble.
Not Mirrorwitch trouble.
Sorry, like you say, go and cause
chaos. Why not? Go and cause
put yourself up in there
and get at them. And I really wish sometimes we would allow some of the players, some of them, to express themselves perhaps more. Maybe Atsu, perhaps. You know.
I think he does that with Atsu when he brings them on as a sub. The last.
Let them express themselves a bit better. You know. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Shall we jump into some questions?
Where he as I say, if he comes in and where he plays.
Start at left back and the left hand side of midfield, don't get us wrong. I just think that's just my personal show anyway.
We've had a shite loads of questions tonight, so we'll probably have to cut a few of them.
Looked actually.
There's loads and loads. Right back there. Right, this one is from Dom Parson, who's also a sponsor of the podcast. This is his t-shirt, look.
Hi Dom.
Hi Dom.
Hi Tiger.
Tiger.
I'm calling them Tiger now.
Easy Tiger.
Right, Dom sends in, will Kennedy, fucking hell. Will Kennedy play at left back in a 4, or will we play 5-3 at the back more often? So he's talking about wing backs.
I would.
Number 10?
I would love it to play 3-5-2 though. 3-5-2 with Kennedy that side and Yedlin that side. you've got the solidity of 3 at the back. You've got 3 in midfield, which makes you compact. You've got 2 up front. It's a dream formation for me. That formation.
It's home to get. I mean, I know Burnley are difficult to break down. They're difficult to beat.
It's the dream formation. 3-5-2.
It's home.
It's a dream formation. And if you run to the cosh, your full-backs just tuck and you've got 5 at the back. And when you run the offensive...
You've got to have three
three
very well organised central defenders to play it.
And that's where Clark wouldn't play for us. It would be Dummett ahead of Clark. Because Clark can't play in a 3. He can't do it.
So it would be a 3 centre-backs?
It would...
Lascelles, Dummett and Mbemba?
It would be Mbemba, but actually... And you'd be surprised.
Mbemba's got the pace to cover as well.
He has. I thought he was
he played better as a sweeper, that type of role.
I would play. It would be them 3. I actually think Lejeune. I think would play better in a 3.
I forgot about Lejeune.
I know he's injured at the minute. He probably won't play. But I think in a 3, I think he would be all right. But I would definitely play with Mbemba though for now, 100%. And I'd play Lascelles, Dummett, and Mbemba. Sorry, is the 3.
So Lascelles centre, Mbemba right, Dummett left.
100%. 100%.
I'd go with that.
And then you've got Kennedy on the left, you've got Yedlin on the right. Your 3 in midfield, you've got a lot of choices. You could play Shelvey, Diarmi, Marino.
And Dummett and Mbemba are far from the slowest players on the pitch. They're both quite fast and quite pacey in there, so they could cover.
And up front, Perez will play on tomorrow. 100% Perez will play.
I hope he does.
And I would go Yosselu Perez.
Yeah, I hope he does.
I think that is just... I honestly believe that is the best formation that you can play.
I'm all for giving players chances, and I would love to see Perez start tomorrow.
I'd probably go Perez and...
Yosselu.
See, that must fucking... This is how desperate Mark's wanting Perez to start.
It just shows you how far Gale is regressed as a player.
Not just that, how short of options we are.
Yeah.
You think of going up front with 2, you've only got 3 options, because Mitrovic isn't one.
It's like we're cycling the team quite often, aren't we? Because we've tried this before with like Perez, and then fans got his back, and we're thinking he's not good enough, then we'll go back to Gale, and he's not good enough, and like we're in like it's like a double-edged sword, isn't it? Like
the only one we haven't tried is Mitrovic.
Oh, we have?
Well, not a fair shot at it.
2 games this season?
I'm not sure.
He scored in one of them, West Ham.
Exactly.
He got sent off the other one.
He did. Yeah, he did. But
he's probably the best player on the pitch, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a Mitrovic fan. But apparently, there's a lot of people that aren't. One of them's Rafa.
And that's the thing, the one that really counts. What's that say?
Ramirez is going.
Who?
That Ramirez from Everton.
Where's he gone?
Seville.
Oh, well, isn't that one gone?
I didn't know.
Another one bites the dust.
Right, Graham Milton sends in, what's the point of supporting Newcastle?
You've got to make that the theme tune of this podcast.
What?
Another one bites the dust. You're just going to do.
Another one bites the dust, so we'll just sing it now.
Another one done, another one done, another one bites the bus, bites the bus.
Bites the bus?
Bites the bus. I'm the club singer.
Alright,
They gotta get used to me, the one bites the dust.
Right, Graham Milton sends in, what's the point of supporting Newcastle in the Ashley era?
Fuck knows, I've been asking myself that for the
Nothing
last
at all
years.
is being done to make us competitive. There's no fucking point in Newcastle United as
That's
Mike
not
Ashley
true.
is owner.
That is not true. Have a look at our balance sheet. We are very competitive in the banking industry. We're in profit.
I think it's tough for a younger fan, isn't it? I think. We used to remember the really good times, Robson, Keegan, etc. But for a young fan now,
I'm glad my kids are too young to realise that Mike Ashley's a fucking dickhead and he'll be gone by the time. Well, I fucking hope he's gone by the time my kids are gone to the games.
Well, one of my mates, Alan, he was on Twitter. Alan Coleman, do you know Alan?
No.
He put
Is he on a fish shop?
No. He put on the day, he was like, me Ben's 11-month-old, and he went, I'm really seriously, like, questioning, like, should I really get him involved in that? Like, for me, it's just, you know, it is what it is.
It's still the age of innocence.
And Keegan's comment when he said, what was it, you keep supporting the club and he will go and we still will be there, or something.
Yeah.
He, a lot better than when I've just said it like that, but he will go one day and we'll have to just keep doing what we're doing, I guess.
Nixon sends in, after the success of Gallagher flags and Lee's flags, do you fancy being the official sponsor of my new venture called Vuvuzelas for the East Stand? No. I fucking hate the Vuvuzelas. I just spoiled the full fucking World Cup, didn't it?
Kazoo.
What do them sound like again? Well, I tell you that or boo, isn't it? We've only got that or boo, really, so put the same.
Get some kazoos. That would be good, wouldn't it?
I'm just going to take some cymbals to the game. Every time we get a goal, I'm just going to... so I might as well not take them.
No,
because
no,
I don't
no,
score.
Flying down
No
the lane,
percussion is
the
allowed.
harmonies there. It was unbelievable. Like the Eagles.
No percussion is allowed in the ground. Remember the hell on with the drum.
Oh, aye. One game only.
Didn't like it,
Don't,
did he?
don't,
Aye, because he had no
don't
rhythm.
take any percussion in.
Dane,
You had no
he
fucking
drum
rhythm,
out time.
Deka.
Remember, he-
That was the
he's
problem.
out
He couldn't
time.
play
He was
two
out
in-
of timely rhythm. I
Just copying the
like
team.
the drum. He just couldn't fucking string a beats together.
What were you
He
expecting?
wanted to run the hills, man. Anyway, next.
Fucking
Some
hell.
bit of Steppenwolf or something.
Right,
like that.
Jamie sends in, journalists have been taking a bashing for reporting possible transfers.
Journalists
Have been taking a bashing for reporting possible transfers which fail to come to. I can't even get me fucking
Fruition.
teeth in. Yes,
Is that the
fruition.
word?
Would you prefer them to stay silent or report as and when they hear?
Absolutely. It's a disgrace. But Pete Graves and Downey and the rest of them.
Been getting it on there.
It's
Pete
been-
Graves is a
oh,
fan. He's
yeah.
a Newcastle fan, born and bred. He
Disgrace.
loves the club.
He goes away games as well, doesn't he?
Aye.
He sits in the Almere Acid.
He gets to home games.
It's an absolute
He's a season ticket holder.
disgrace, the hassle he's getting. It disgusts me that our fans
Do
would
people
treat him
think
like
he
that.
just sits there and makes this shit up? He can only report on what he's said, what he's told.
And
You know what's
he's
funny as well?
got to trust his sources and all that. That's his job.
You'll see people tweet him back and go, so do you think we'll sign a striker? Like, people are, and then he'll answer, well, I'm confident.
Well, I hope so.
And then, woof, he gets hammered because maybe haven't signed one. It's disgusting. It's
Because
absolutely
it's his
disgusting.
fault. It's his fault. If we don't sign him, it's Pete's fault.
Blame Pete.
Honestly, I really just.
It's a joke,
I had to stop reading them because I was just getting so annoyed and there's nothing I can do about anything.
You
so
cannot.
I was just
The
like,
thing is you cannot win. You cannot win. If you report stuff and it doesn't come off, you're called worse than shit. It's all bollocks. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah de blah. If they didn't report it,
He hasn't got a fucking job if he's not
then it'd be
reporting
like,
it.
these people
well,
wouldn't say it. 'cause if
why
they
we're
met
not
him-
why we're not hearing anything? Why we're not getting linked?
if they met him in the match, if they met him in the street,
for you, Pete.
all right, they wouldn't say it. They wouldn't say no.
Pete, what's going on in Newcastle?
Hey,
Can I get a photo?
Thanks for the
Selfie.
report and that you're doing a good job. And the problem is
Beside me tits.
we might meet him and say that. We might say that and meet him and go, he'll probably think you're probably the one that's having a go at us. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
Pete's friend on Facebook.
Are you?
I am.
No, good stuff. No, I've got a lot of time.
Shall
for
we
Pete
ring him?
Graves. His podcast is mint as well. Listen to the podcast on the transfer one's great.
So, Pete, you're welcome here anytime. We'll get you a pint.
I'm going to treat him after this and say, on my podcast, I promoted your podcast. Ari, bro.
Alright, bro! Oh, no, don't do that, Pete. Don't ever come on this podcast.
No, he'll never come on the podcast.
Can we just distance ourselves
Yes,
from
you sounded how he looks.
Oh, is he cap? Ari, bro.
We need
No,
to
he's good
distance
lad,
ourselves
I've got a lot
from
to-
Deka's
Right,
comments against
Alex
him.
Ingalls sends in, supporting the team fuels the regime. Discuss. That's a fucking hard one, isn't it?
What? Support
So
the
us
team
supporting the team.
feeds the regime.
Yeah, so by us going to games and keep going to games and keep spending money at the club gives Ashley more money.
You don't have to spend money at the club.
Like your season
Other
ticket
than your
alone,
ticket, yeah.
which is probably the most expensive thing that you'll spend.
You fucking kidding me? You seen the price of the pies and pints and hot dogs?
I spent a fucking fortune in that place. I go 2 hours before kick-off, don't I? I
No,
spent
true,
a fortune. I spent a fortune in there. Like,
You're there before Raf, aren't you?
yep. I'm there before the team coach. Honestly, I'm 4 deep before the bus even turns up. Inside, I buy me food in there.
I'm normally 4 minutes into the
Honestly.
game by the time I
You
get
know,
in.
when will you try?
Me and my dad spent
Late.
way more than my season ticket's worth in terms of that.
Do you reckon?
Which I'm probably. God, how bad am I?
So it's your fucking fault, is it?
No,
Yeah?
but the thing is, though, is for me, and this is something that I think some people get and some people don't. That is my time with my dad. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And like
absolutely.
going to the match with my dad on a match day and having a pint and having a bit of crack is everything that I want to be able to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
But then
Yeah,
other
absolutely.
People, other people be like, oh, you shouldn't go back because of this, and I get that. I do get that. But for me, that's my time with my dad. Going to the match, I've done it since I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? And I want my baby to go and
we've
it's
had
stuff,
that
you know?
conversation time and time again. Is that we go to the match because
For the crack?
we spend time in each other's company, we enjoy it. Well, that's all, yeah. Talking about that.
I got wrong for saying Ari Bro, he's trying to hold your hand. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going for anything like that.
And I think
I know, I was reaching for his
it
cup.
probably does at some point become a bit of a habit, doesn't it? Is that because you can't say we're going in and enjoying it. We did last season to some extent. It wasn't as good as the last time we were
Still
down,
shite one.
but it was, you
Wasn't it?
know,
Aye, that's what
it's the difference was we were winning games.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, you're right. You're right.
We have got this blind sense of loyalty, but why would I starve myself something that I apparently enjoy.
Getting away from your lass and
I get a bit of peace from the kids.
So, one question I will ask, and sorry, I apologise if it's going to be on there. If Rafa walked in the summer, would you just go back?
It depends if I make my next payment on my direct debit, because that's then starting to pay for next season, isn't it?
Well, I pay mine in full. I don't pay my direct debit.
I'm on
That's
I'm on
a
10 year. I think I've still got 3 years or something.
Yeah,
left on my
I'm about the
season
same.
tickets.
That would be tough for me, you know.
It's a hard one. This is the closest I've ever been to thinking, fuck it. Like, why am I putting so much time and so much money into supporting this club? And I know we'll be here a lot longer than what Ashley will.
Big few days. Massive few days.
It's a massive day. There's 1 day left.
1 day left. But we've said that before. This is a massive weekend. It's a massive game, massive day. I just think if he is the glue, isn't he? This one man will put in so much. You're putting your entire sort of life in.
Because we know, had he have walked away in the summer, we wouldn't have been sitting where we are now.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a chance in hell.
Yeah, it's true.
I think we've seen it before where there's a lot of fans threatening to say, oh, I'm not going to renew my season ticket, but I think there's something different about this, because I think maybe it's because of the takeover and how close the takeover was.
It's just disappointment after disappointment, isn't it?
It's a tough one, like, because the last thing I would want to do is not go to the game. Oh, the bogs are locked. Try the lasses. There you go. They've done that before.
Really?
This is probably the closest I've ever been to thinking, why am I bothering if the owner's not even bothering?
500 odd quid a year, isn't it? Just for your ticket.
Mine's more.
And then
Mine's 600 and something.
your pints.
It's a lot of money. I'll just spend it on other shite, like, but it's a lot of money that I'm money that which they could be going to better things at the minute. Like, I could have like another couple of holidays a year.
Yeah.
For what I'm spending on a weekend at Newcastle United. I could be off to Miami with Ashley.
Fat bastard.
It's just, I didn't know. Like I say, like, fuck off. Like, when do we see it as fans? Enough is enough. How long you had your season ticket now? Be a while, innit?
What year are we? 2017? Aye. Must be.
I must be 6 years now.
Oh, that's well over that.
I got a season ticket as soon as I could afford it.
I've had a season ticket nigh on every season since I was 14, 15.
So 50 odd years.
There's only 2 or 3 seasons where I didn't, but I still went to
the games.
The majority of games.
Mm.
And
I think Dega's had one for God knows how long.
The reason I didn't have season tickets is because I was working weekends.
Mm.
So it didn't make sense if I couldn't get it off. So I would just buy a ticket.
It's a horrible situation to be in. Jock Goodwillie sends in.
Jock Goodwillie?
Jock Goodwillie. He's at his...
Is that his real name?
Well, he's at his Jock da Cock.
Jock da Cock.
How many Sports Direct mugs would we need to offer before we make a signing? None. I think that's the problem.
Is there massive big ones?
I think that's the problem. Sports Direct.
That's definitely...
Joe Smith sends in a good one. He sends in, should we all just fucking give up? Which goes back to what we're just talking about.
There's a large proportion already has.
Aye, the owner.
Starts on the top,
but if you don't want to be here, just fucking go.
We're talking about
just
Ashley
go.
or fans?
Him?
Ashley.
Aye. He's already said he doesn't want to be here.
He doesn't want to be here, but he likes the benefits of being here. That's a problem.
Just fuck off, please. Please.
Just fuck off. Just
Mate,
fuck off.
Just fuck off.
You actually think he's listening to this?
It's unbelievable, isn't it? He doesn't like. He can't.
He's got a thicker skin than a fucking sunburnt rhinoceros.
Yeah, probably true. Right?
You said rhinoceros really weird there.
Rhinoceros.
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 Aye, but what was I going to say? Ashley is once again just gambling, isn't he, with his football club? Because if he doesn't spend any money and we stay up,
It doesn't affect him. It doesn't affect him. He
It does, we get
doesn't
relegated.
care less. It's us that gets put through the ringer time and time again because we are emotionally attached to that club.
We fucking love this
isn't.
fucking
He
club.
is not emotionally
Do
attached
you know
to
when you
this
say
club.
that? What did you say? So it'll cost him and that. You said
Relegation.
Relegation will cost him and blah blah. Blah. I think it proves just how much money he does have, that it doesn't bother him. Like because if he if he thought, great, if we go down again, it's going to cost us X Y Z.
I better take this 250 million.
I have to either take that money from Staveley, or I have to certainly invest because I cannot simply afford to go back down.
But he
I
thinks,
feel as if like
he thinks because we've done it twice. Oh well, if we do go down,
We'll just do it again.
We'll bounce back straight up again.
maybe he is that naive and thick. Maybe he is. Maybe he is.
It can only be.
I still can't believe he pays Rafa $6 million a year.
Right.
I honestly still can't believe that. To be honest.
Daryl Thompson sends in, why do we fall for the same crack every year? I don't think we do fall for it. We're just...
Nah, we fully expect
know
it.
what's expected, but
However,
we
we
get a
live
tiny bit
in
of hope. That's a problem. We know what's coming, but as soon as we get fed a little bit of hope, we're cling to it.
Yeah, I'm
And it
the world's
expands
worst.
and we think, fuck, oh yes, like the whole storage thing.
It's because
like we were all texting each other.
Absolutely desperate.
I think it was you first, Deka, like put it in, saying, oh, storage link, blah, blah, blah. Then less than half an hour later, I sent another message in saying, oh, he's fucked off to
It was
West Brom.
ruined. It was ruined. It was
Half
that
an hour?
brief
30
glimmer
fucking
of
minutes?
hope, brief glimmer of hope.
And we're all discussing,
How
he'll
often
do
have
well,
we
blah,
talking
blah.
about that brief glimmer of hope that we're having? It's
The
the
hope that kills you.
It
How
was
many
because, for
times
me, it
was
was
it
because
that?
Copeland, George had tweeted it.
And I trust everything George
And I
says.
thought,
We're going
oh,
to see George next Thursday.
This is going to be...
Is that next week?
Next Thursday, I
Is
think.
it? I better
Aye.
check me down. I'm not at work.
Next Thursday, I'm sure it is.
So-
Is it next Thursday? Yeah, next Thursday. We're going to see George. George and Rafa. You at work? We'll
What
sell
time
you
does it
tickets.
Eight to
7.
I have to get an early finish. It'll be fine, I'll sort it.
7 o'clock.
That's fine.
Right, Eddie Walker sends in, I can't see Rafa keeping us. Fucking hell.
Keeping us us?
Keeping us
Come on,
up.
Rafa can cut me anytime.
Oh, wait, Eddie. I can't see Rafa keeping us up, especially with teams around us strengthening. What, if any, hopes do you have of us staying up? That's the problem, that other teams have strengthened around it and they've given that little bit of a fighting chance while we haven't had that.
Yes, I agree.
Because
But
as an addition,
we've strengthened before and went down. It doesn't necessarily. It definitely gives you a better chance, but it's not. Yes, you're going to steal.
yeah,
It's,
Do you understand
you
what I mean
can
by
sign as many players as you like, but if they're shite, it makes no difference.
That's kind of
You've got to sign quality.
but we're looking at so Watford and thinking, how the fuck have they signed him?
I do agree there, but we go back in the summer and people
And
say
West Brom, we're West Brom 19th.
West Brom have strengthened really well. I actually don't think them will go down, to be honest with you, but like
Shame.
the amount of times of like in the summer when you're signing a player and you say it's important to get him in bed in the squad, have a good pre-season. In January you're not getting that. You're getting 4 days and you've got a game on Saturday. So January is a difficult window, not just for buying, but actually getting someone to settle in. I always think's quite tough. Like I don't think just because, I mean, look at Van Dijk, at £75 million. And I'm not going to bang on about this, but he was a shambles on Saturday. So just by buying a player doesn't mean that your defence is going to be the best.
But just look how ridiculous
It
that
doesn't
is.
work that
Liverpool
fast, you know?
are spending 75 million on a defender. We're not even spending 20 on a striker.
Oh, well, I get that. We can go down that rabbit hole all night. But what I'm trying to, in regards to the question, yes, I would rather be the team that's looking to strengthen, 100%. I want us to buy Delafeu. I want us to buy Sturridge. Of course I do. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to we're safe because we've signed 4 players.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look at McLaren. How
We
many
could-
players were signed that summer, and what happened there?
That's what I mean. You could buy 4 Dumbias and a
And,
Yossel.
they were some good players he signed.
Yeah, they were.
It just didn't work as a team.
Right, Rob Fish sends in, do you think that the real reason Daniel Sturridge didn't sign is because of the uncertainty with Rafa and the club at the moment?
Is that Rob, is it?
It's Rob. How are you, Rob?
Hi, Rob. Good, isn't he? He's always on it.
Rob's always on, aye.
Good, Rob.
Good lad, Rob.
Yes.
I
Sorry.
didn't like some of his tweets he said last week.
What did he say?
Can't remember. It was negative. You were negative, Rob.
Podcast was? Might probably
Aye,
might fall
Dega's
No,
negative.
not to us. In general.
Basically,
Probably to Pete.
because we don't know what's happening with Rafa and the future of Rafa at Newcastle United, is that why Sturridge didn't come to Newcastle?
No, not at all for me. Because it's only a loan.
Yeah, it's only
So,
5 months. Well, it's not even that, it's 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 months.
That's
On the debate last night, they said the same. Or did he not go because Ashley's this and could be selling the club? But he's not staying for.
He's just
any
playing
longer.
for. He's not our
Do you know
player,
what
he's
I
just
mean?
playing for winning.
He didn't become because he couldn't be asked up sticks.
He's like a football escort.
Aye. I mean, if we had been on the flip side of this, let's say we were 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, somewhere around there, he would have 100% up sticks. But he knows we're in a dogfight, and he took the easy option, maybe. Yeah.
Right, we've got 2 left. Alfie sends in, do any of you think it's going to get any better? Surely we can't just be stuck in this state of turmoil for the foreseeable future. Also, anything going to happen on deadline day, like a new striker or possibly Marino's supposed departure? Right, Marino's not going anywhere.
I said it.
I think that puts the end of that.
It would be.
Well, if I said it,
Do you think it's going to get any better? Nah, it's going to get fucking worse.
The only way it can get better,
Is if we sign a striker
and it might only be
and a number 10.
a brief glimpse of hope. But if Ashley goes and sells, because
It's not happening, is it?
things could go wrong.
But it's not
we could
happening.
end up in the same boat that we're in now. But
It's not going to happen until the end of the season, at least now.
I'm looking beyond that.
There's two
Because
things.
I don't think anything is going to happen in the next few days.
Maybe Ashley might let the transfer window go by. Right. I've spent no money. I'll take that 300 million.
Exactly.
That second offer.
Yeah.
I'll take that 300 million now.
I don't think I'll be there.
It's on the table still, apparently, isn't it?
Is it? I think there's two things that have to happen to us. Is one, stay up, because then we'll sell in the summer. But staying up is imperative, because if we're doing, I don't think we'll have that buyer.
Yeah.
So there's sort of like a knock-on effect, isn't there? If we stay up, then he'll sell in the summer, I believe, 100%.
And that's why you've got to hope that he just thinks, right, I need to just have that little bit of faith to say it right. We need to do something to make sure that we're still in the Premier League, because you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds available to you.
He's had 30
next
days
month,
to think that, though.
Next month.
Is that longer?
He's had 30
Is that
days.
since
In
the
this
summer?
month, if you think of this month, some I agree, but certainly this month, apparently he knew 3 weeks ago that takeover wasn't happening. So he's had 30 days up till now to have that
But
attitude.
he was too busy.
He's had one. He's a new. That's exactly the case. He doesn't think like we think he would think.
Yeah.
Says a lot of times.
He doesn't think like a football owner.
No,
I think, hang
he
on,
doesn't.
January's our busiest month.
We've
Let's
got
not piss off.
24 hours now.
To be fair, however,
hours,
it's
yeah.
2018. It doesn't matter where the fuck he is in the world. He can still sort anything out.
Has
Has he not got Tinterweb?
Of course he did, but that's who he is. He doesn't give a shit.
He's
man.
a fucking
He doesn't-
fat arsehole, isn't he?
And the biggest lie almost of all lies is when he says things like, he did this on that interview where he says, I don't really run day to day with the club and it's up to Charlie, so everything's at his door. When he come back off holiday was the only real time when
It started moving
even
forward.
bidding for a player. Kennedy happened when Ashley come back. I know a lot of people might say because of Chelsea agreeing it or whatever, but things only happen when he comes back.
Yeah.
The last time when we bought 5 or 6 French players, remember we bought Gouffran and Adora and Sissoko. All that happened because Ashley went, do you know what it is? Bang.
The thing is, though, like,
Yeah, he has to have the final say, and that's the problem. If he's there
100%.
not to have the final say,
You're pissing against the
He's
wind.
not.
Charlie's lit, and I hate him, but Charlie's pissing against the wind. If Ashley's in New York, he can't do anything.
Time and time again, we have had players lined up, we've had deals agreed, and it's been kiboshed at the last minute because he wouldn't agree it. Because he was penny pinching.
Spot on. Yeah.
you're probably right.
And yet again, we're finding ourselves in exactly the same position.
And I actually thought he might have changed his ways due to who we had in charge. I thought due to having Rafa, he might have honestly changed his ways. Because when you've got Kinnear and Pardew and Soon, whoever the fuck they are, you can kind of maybe take the higher ground. You know, like it's Kinnear, it's Pardew, like fuck you. But it's Rafa Benitez, and I honestly thought if anyone could have changed his opinion on how to do things, it would have been him.
It's like you said earlier on, Rafa is the glue that's holding the fans and the club and everything together right now.
Everything.
But
everything.
as we've discussed a few times, that is starting to be chipped away and chipped away and chipped away because there's more and more voice and noise getting put at Rafa's door
The dam's going to burst shortly.
and blaming him.
Not be long.
Yeah.
Not be
There's a
long.
frustration building and building and building.
Right, Kevin sends in, young Mono. Hi, Kevin. He's another one, like Rob. So I was in there. Does anyone know what Lee Charney actually does? And how angry do you reckon Rafa is?
I think
Rafa must be fucking livid, you know.
privately, he's got to be seething, and you've seen it at times when he's I can't remember what happened. There was something happened in the game on Sunday, and the camera cut out to him, and he was going ballistic.
He goes ballistic at
Absolutely
every
ballistic.
mistake that's made, and good on him. He's a very passionate manager.
So, because he puts so much effort in planning and concentration into game and how people should line up and how they should play, and he feels let down when that doesn't happen. So you can guarantee that he's putting the same amount into getting these deals done, identifying players. He's done everything he possibly can to say, here's who I want. You'll have made inquiries into this is how much it's going to cost you. This is how much they're looking to be paid. There you go. Now this is where I have to step away and you have to do the job of landing these players.
And once again, we're back to the exact same thing Keegan was
That
doing.
is where it falls down time after time after time.
Mike Ashley does not give a
It's a
fuck
fucking-
about you,
it's a shambles,
me,
it's
him over there,
When you put
everyone
it as,
fucking listening,
when you-
everyone watching. He doesn't give a fuck.
When you put it as plainly as he did there, like it's hard to take, isn't it?
He doesn't care, man. He doesn't care. He's fucking laughing at her again. He's been laughing at her for 10 fucking years, man.
He's ruined this club.
10 years we've
Absolutely
been
ruined
filling
this club.
his fucking pockets, and all that he's used us is a massive fucking billboard for Sports Direct. That's all he's used this club for. Maybe at the very start he did have good intentions for the club, but that fucking vanished nigh on the fucking the season after he bought it, man.
And that is what.
Just go into St James's Park and look around you. It's his fucking house, man.
You don't even need to go into it. You can do it from the outside.
Aye,
I mean,
you
it's not
can.
as bad as it used to be, but
Everything's
isn't it, you know,
Sports Direct. Everything's fucking yellow and blue, and it fucking does your head in.
Even when you look at like the stadium itself in terms of everything about it, it's never come on as it since the
No,
Robson era.
it's a fucking
If
shithole,
you
man.
go back to when Bobby Robson came, I remember it was getting built in.
no,
Then when it-
we painted the stairs.
well,
last season.
And the fucking East End floor.
seasick floor. If you look at it as an infrastructure and everything,
There's no pride in it
never
anymore, man.
changed, has it?
There's
It's
no
never-
pride in that ground anymore.
Nah, it's not.
We've got new boards.
We've got
I
new
mean,
boards
don't
because
get
that's
us wrong,
more
but
money fucking coming
We've
in
got
his
LED
pocket.
lights.
In fairness, Rafa really pushed the boat out in the training ground in regards to getting like a living space for the players in terms of to stay back after training to help with things and whatever. But
You know the only reason that we put those LED lights in the boards on the screen,
Because we had to do it probably.
no, is because we then made more money from being able to show other sporting activities such as the rugby.
Is that what the crack was?
but I
We
think
could show the Olympics. We could show the what's it called, the sevens,
The rugby.
Magic
the
Weekend
rugby,
thing,
Magic, yeah.
and the Rugby World Cup.
And to stop the ball boys from getting on quicker because there's no gaps in them.
So he didn't make those changes to make the match day experience any better for us as supporters.
It's the
He
income
did
thing.
it because it generated more income for the club
He's
and well for him
He's an
basically.
absolute. He's just toxic, isn't he? And we said last
It's a
week.
cash cow. It is an absolute cash cow.
We said last week. You just Mike Ashley's name is just bad. Just his name, even if it's nothing to do with Newcastle United, his name is associated with bad crack.
Do you know the only good that would come from Rafa walking away would be nobody would go back. I won't say nobody, but certainly.
I think if Rafa,
Oh.
say if Rafa walked after tomorrow's game, our next home game, I think it'd be hardly anyone in that
Aye.
ground because that would be where you would make your stand.
Yes, that can, and I don't want that to happen. Of course,
No, of course not.
There'd be hell on,
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
absolute. Hell.
Remember when Keegan left? It'd be 10 times worse.
It would be. I
There'll
agree.
be
totally,
people at the stairs of the day of the announcement. There'll be people at the stairs. There'll be protests. There'll be everything.
It would
There'll be hell on.
Yeah,
And the thing is, looking at the club now and looking at fan bases and fan groups associated with the club now, they're a lot more structured and a lot more professional than what they were before. If you know what I mean. Like you've got the likes of Warham, War Flags, Leazer's Flags. There's a lot of work's gone into them. And you think if something bad happened now, and say if Rafa did walk, God forbid it, hopefully everyone would come as a collective to get your voice heard.
I think as well you have to remember Ashley's, as Mark said before, that since he's come in, he's treated the club like shit, like absolute shit, and he's never really had a hard time of it. There's been the odd,
He's had the odd thing,
the odd time where we've had the odd flag up, we've said the odd bad chant,
But
but
let's
we've still had 50 odd thousand here. Every
look at
week
it
we've
from
sell out
imagine
every
if he had
weekend.
the same stuff as what we're giving Pardew.
That's what I mean.
Like, Pardew took the flak for Ashley
That's what I thought, and I didn't want to
But
get
that's
involved.
because he was always
because he was an arsehole and needs to defend
he
him.
was defending it.
Maybe
and-
I still think Pardew doing quite well, with his hands tied behind his back. I'm not saying he was the saint. I'm not saying he was fantastic.
one season.
But I thought he'd done all right for what he had to
One
deal
season.
with. I didn't know.
What's he at again, so people don't
No,
tag me?
I'm not saying.
The league table doesn't lie.
Are you saying Rafa?
had one
You're
good season
saying
where we finished in
Ashley
the
should have took
the
a
top
lot
six.
more of that responsibility than what Pardew was.
But you're saying he's finishing in the top 6. Rafa can't even get the bottom fucking 5, 6.
But look at the team. Look at the team Pardew had.
Pardew's team was amazing.
Look at the team we've got now.
Yeah, no, I give you that.
Swap the two managers. Give Rafa that team. Give Pardew this team.
Yes. Yeah, but that doesn't mean Pardew's a bad person. He's not.
No, no, I'm
He's
not.
nowhere near as good as Rafa.
I think it's
Benitez.
because the fact
and
that-
everyone knows that.
I think it's because we knew Pardew was Ashley's mate, wasn't he? He
Yeah,
knew
but
him
he
before
was- he
Newcastle
was-
days and stuff like that.
We would have had
He was
much,
linked with Ashley
much
and
more
Rafa isn't.
respect for him had he have been open, honest, not made. The biggest thing was me is he made excuse after excuse
that was
after
that
excuse.
was the thing.
You
that
cannot
was
pull the wool over a football
if
supporter's eyes.
Pardew had have said what Rafa says about stay behind the support of the club and they're working very hard, I believe Pardew would have gotten more shit. I honestly believe that. Rafa's lucky because of who he is and the amount that we respect him. Rafa's press conferences are, to be honest with you, they're quite boring really. They're the same scenario, it's copy and paste job every single week. Right? There's no difference in what he says. Support the club, get behind the club, the players are
because
trying.
he can only cling to those.
It's because Rafa knows that fans are on his side. He's not daft.
Yeah,
on that side.
he's very lucky in that sense, isn't he? He plays it very well, and that's. And again, I'm really honestly, I'm not trying to defend Pardew. What I'm trying to say is that I didn't think he had a terrible gig as well. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry.
Yeah, of course he did.
He had
Everyone
a
manager
fucking
has
shit
apart from
gig.
McLaren, I would
He
say.
had a shit gig. Like he
No,
really did.
I get that, but there's ways you conduct yourself.
And Pardew was a very unlikable character.
He was. He
Especially
was
towards the
cocky.
end.
He's nothing people. There's hell on. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to defend him. I just
from
mean,
looking at
any
the point of
manager's
view,
had a bad
that
gig.
season that we're talking about, that's the best football I've ever seen in a long, long time at Newcastle.
Yeah, I
that
agree.
season, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I loved it. It all went downhill rapidly from that point.
Only saying
It's
Anita,
always
though,
it's
doesn't
always
help.
been.
We should have Ashley again. If Ashley backs him, who knows? We
So-
only signed Anita that season.
But that's
that
yeah,
summer. Sorry,
if-
it's not really helping. We're not building
that
nowhere.
position we've talked about that time and time again is that position that we were in. That is when we needed to strengthen.
And then we
that.
sold Kabay
didn't.
and all the rest.
Yeah.
Got the list is endless. And I just don't think that, for as you just said, there's the best football you've seen in years. And it was for me personally. Home and away, I really did go home and away at that time. And it was some of the most exciting days I can remember being a fan.
I agree.
I've seen more exciting games than I have under Rafa. And that's not Rafa's fault. I mean, the team we've got, sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. Your West Brom aways, your Stoke aways. We had some really good games.
Let's
We beat Man
remember,
United
yeah,
3-0
right?
at home, man. I'll
For-
never forget that game.
Forget
It was
about
By free kick.
unbelievable game.
Forget
man.
about Pardew, Carver, McLaren, Rafa, right? There's one person at the end of this, and it's Mike Ashley.
Yeah,
That's who's to fucking blame.
That was where I tried to say right at the start is that
It's one common demand. It's Ashley.
Pardew had a difficult job, but still was because of Ashley. It's always Ashley that
Every
is
single
the one.
manager, and I'd
Sorry.
probably excuse McLaren from this, is every manager's had the hands tied behind the back.
McLaren
They've never had
gave
the money.
more than any other manager that we've
It was
had. at that club.
absolutely ridiculous, and that's what infuriates him, though. That the fact that Steve McLaren was given more money than Rafa Benitez.
It was the only time I actually defended Ashley because he sacked all the coaching staff. He got a brand new
It was
coaching
a clear
staff
out,
in.
wasn't it?
And he said on that Sky interview on the TV on the West Ham game, we are now going to create our own look. We are going to create our look, but basically by meaning, what did he say? We've got
The club.
We've got the horse or something. We're going to bolt. He said something like that, didn't he? About the horse and the
Aye,
carriage.
some
That was a
bullshit,
Can you remember that?
That was a defining point, and that is
Yeah.
when he had an opportunity
to get us
To win
back
the
on
battle.
side.
to get
Yeah.
us back on site. And you know, I gave him an opportunity at that point.
Yeah, I did.
The summer he put money into the club. I thought, right, things are looking up. But then, since that point, because it didn't work out, but rather than do anything about it, he just let it
go
fester.
and let
He
it go. And we were saying McLaren needs to go.
Because-
He needs to go.
Yeah,
he
that
needs to go, and it went on for weeks and weeks because you got that result against Liverpool, was it?
But
And that's
even
when we all
the
thought he was
fact
going to
that
get sacked.
we
And it
knew
went
he
on
was-
for a
we
few
knew
more
he was getting
weeks.
sacked, and it went on for another. Like the Monday, everybody knew he was sacked.
Yeah.
It was then dragged
he
out,
kept coming
dragged
to
out,
work,
dragged
didn't
out,
he?
dragged
Aye.
out. He was there. You're just waiting, and then it wasn't until the Thursday or Friday he actually left the club.
Yeah.
But that's us, isn't it? We're slow. We're slow at everything.
You
at
gave
everything.
him
Ins,
almost
outs,
the full
sacks.
season. You knew before Christmas.
Yeah, it was.
That it wasn't
terrible.
Damage was done, wasn't it? Damage was done.
And I will honestly say this, I still cannot believe we got Rafa. At that moment, that you thought that we all said the clowns. And I remember when I seen the link, I was like, oh, so Charnley's going to sit in the same room as Rafa. That's going to go tits up. Like, I just didn't, and we got him and you thought, fuck me. And who knows if
We need to pull a rabbit out of the hat tomorrow.
It's huge tomorrow.
It has to happen.
Because if we don't sign anyone and then lose that game, I'm sorry, we're fucked. And I'm going to honestly go on the line now. If we don't sign anyone tomorrow and we lose tomorrow,
If we lose that game tomorrow, there's gonna be hell on.
And don't sign anyone. If you sign someone and lose tomorrow, there's a silver lining.
It depends who you sign.
There's a silver lining. If you get a couple of players in tomorrow, there's a silver lining. If we don't sign anyone and we're closed for business, we'll get beat. We're done. We are absolutely done.
Poor Keith Downey's got to stand on the training ground tomorrow.
He'll be gone. He'll be gone by 10 o'clock.
That's when you know as well. I
He'll
think.
be over.
Do you know when the
he'll
move?
Be at the match.
When the move places, you're done then, like. And we'll be done. We will be.
That's
We've
the
never
thing.
signed anyone on
Yeah,
deadline
got the
day.
game on.
We've bid for Nzogbia. It's the only thing we've ever done.
Ruiz.
It's the
What
only
name?
thing. Oh, man, Jesus.
Ashley's going to get his helicopter.
Helicopter job, aye. It's. I agree. He said it's a very, very, very important 24 hours. Or 30 hours. Or
It's going to be less by the time this goes out.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And if it doesn't happen and Burnley's a poor result, I'm telling you we're fucked. We're in bad position.
I'm dreading the atmosphere tomorrow. Absolutely dreading it.
I know I am.
Shall we call it a night?
Fuck, what an uplifting podcast this has
Shall
been.
we just call it ever? Just fuck everyone off now. We're not doing it anymore. Let's put all the photos down.
Well, she might as well fuck off.
She's staying just in case. Just staying forever.
Fucking
Are you still got Amanda there?
Why, aye?
Oh, fuck her.
pie tin features.
She's staying just in case. I've got every cup. Sorry, Amanda. Get back. Right.
Hasselou hat trick tomorrow.
Right. Let's just end it there. Right, everyone. That was
Thoughts on
scary
tomorrow,
as
though.
fuck.
Go on, give us a score tomorrow. Go on.
Oh God. I'm gonna try and be optimistic, and I'll go with a 2-1 win.
Go on then. Well, I played Burnley last night on Football Manager,
Right.
and I won 2-0.
Who scored?
The problem I've got is Mitrovic scored.
That's not happening.
So, but I'm going to say 2-0 because that's what happened last night.
Score both.
I've got I downloaded the real fixtures for my league, I played them the same time, and Mitrovic scored 2-0.
Did you get a brace? Micro brace.
No, he scored. I can't remember who scored the other one.
Was it
Shaw
Kennedy?
Shelby. It was a wonder.
Shelby.
Wonder
There
goal.
again.
Aye, it was,
Get that on.
I'll
2-0.
take that.
Shelby
I'll
Micro.
settle for that.
That's what you were going for.
Chris would 1-0.
Yeah.
So we disagree. No, what do you reckon?
I can see them fucking nicking like we did.
Oh,
like we did it
fucking hell.
at their place.
Yeah.
It'd be a very, very,
Well, no, it's going to be a
very,
bad
very
game, though, eh?
tight, very difficult to break
Did
down.
you say tight or shite?
They have slipped a little bit the last few weeks.
Oh well, that's them winning the marathon. Winning 7.
This could be the lucky break that we need just to kickstart things. But
Nah, Mark, lad.
fuck's sake, it's Newcastle, man.
Fuck off, Mark.
It drives you down, doesn't it? It drags you down.
Does I?
I'd love to just fucking go out and just fucking get at them. Let's win a game. What have we got to lose?
Get out.
I just feel like I just need a really big sigh.
No, but,
Just do it now and not at the game when somebody fucking puts a
Puts a
ball.
ball.
I can see me being angry at the people around us tomorrow.
Right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for watching YouTube.
appreciate your time.
We are happy
Let's hope something happens in the next 24 hours. But
let's hope so.
don't hold your breath.
Shall we record a reaction after tomorrow gets...
No, because it'll just be exactly the same as this. Exactly the same as this.
Oh, please.
Right, bye everyone. Love yous.
Bye.
Fuck off, Ashley, you fat cunt.